I remember being just a little boy, scrubbing floors beside my mother, watching her clap her hands just to prove she wasn't stealing, and I said to myself right then, nobody will ever make my mother feel small again, and I want to ask you something today. What moment lit a fire in you? What pain did you promise yourself you'd never go back to? Because it's in that moment, my friend, that your greatness was born. This is a scripture that when I first heard it and read it, I just said, "Oh, who boy?" That's cold-blooded. I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. It didn't have any compassion in it. He that hath shall get, and he that hath not, even that he has shall be taken away. Oh my God, you say he that hath the person that would have, they will get, and the person who doesn't have, even that little bit they have shall be taken away. That doesn't seem right, but there's a question. He that hath what? Vision. People without vision perish. Ambition drive your willingness to work, stubbornness, perseverance, faith that roars so loudly it doesn't give you an opportunity to heal. The doubts you have within yourself, if you have those qualities, you will get. You have those qualities, you'll restore everything you lost and more. You have those qualities, angels will make room for you. Come, 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 let's intervene here. Because he won't quit, she won't stop. We've done everything and they won't stop. Come, we got to intervene now, and then let's go find a wimp, somebody who's stopped, somebody who's allowing themselves to be consumed by fear. They're weak, yeah, because God has not given them a spirit of fear, but of power. They ain't got no power. They're consumed in fear. They can't even think straight. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. This place where you are, where I am, this place. We've been picked out to be picked on. This place, we are more than conquerors. This place is a testimony, no test, no testimony. This place, no guts, no glory. This place, faith not tested, can't be trusted. This faith will find a way. We need to know that. We need to saturate ourselves with words that will empower us. Right now our children are watching. Our children are not okay. There's an article, Google it. Our kids are not okay. The suicide rate among children, teenagers and younger, because they're watching us. See how we live our lives. Jim Rohn said this, how we live our lives. It can be a warning or an example. Did you hear me? How we live our lives. Our children are watching. It will be a warning or an example, a warning of what not to do, or an example of what to do when tragedy and interruptions and crisis show up. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. This is our time to stand. This is our time to be actively engaged in this thing called life. Our children are watching us. There are generations yet unborn that are depending on us. There are people who gave their lives, like John Lewis said, to create some good trouble. It's our time, it's our time. You have something special. God is on your side. If God is for you, who can be against you? You got a winning team I'm looking for, and I'm on a mission for people who can hear me. If at some point in time when you were a little kid or a grown person, you were going through some stuff and you heard my voice, the reason you heard it is because what's in me is also in you. And the reason you responded and came out of the darkness into the light is because there's a calling on you to do the same thing. You and I are cut from the same cloth, you're branches of the same tree. If my message and my method and my approach resonates with you, I'm not talking about my hairstyle, my kid and play hairstyle, and I'm kid. No, I'm talking about my message, and you have a message in you. You have a story in you. You like to help people, the millions of people who need to hear a multitude of voices, and I want you to put voice in the comment section. Put voice in the comment section and allow us to introduce you to the Power Voice system that teaches you how to tell your story, that teaches you how to create experience with your voice and your story to transform people individually and collectively. Allow me to mentor, to coach you, to bring out the greatness in yourself, and to bring out the greatness in others. If that's your calling, I love to tell you, and I will always remind you, a job is what you get paid for. A calling is what you're made for. If it's your calling, put voice in the comment section. If you can hear me in your heart, I'm not challenging your ability to hear with your ears, because you wouldn't still be here with me. I don't have any prince translating my words. So if you're still here, the only reason you're listening is because what is in me is in you. You and I are cut from the same cloth. We are branches of the same tree. It's time to make a decision. Put voice in the comments section. We don't know how much time we have left, do we? Michael Jackson said this is it. And it was. Put voice in the comments section. Live each day as if it were your last, because what we learned from the coronavirus, one day it will be. Toby Gatson, we graduated together at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, 1963. Wow, classmate had COVID-19 and he kicked COVID's butt. Toby, I'm so happy for you, brother, so happy, prayed hard for you, but you've always been a fighter since we were in high school. I tell you, Larry Little, who played for the Dolphins, this boy, we went to school. We would miss school because we were characters. We were always clowning. We always wanted to know what would we do next. We came to see each other for cafeteria and physical education. Oh my goodness, oh boy, that's back in the day. I hear young people today, these millennials, talking about back in the day. They don't know anything about back in the day. I got Tish, Ertz older than them. But at 75, my goal is to finish strong. At 75, my goal is to train the best speakers on the planet. At 75, my goal is to find people who are hungry to make an impact with their lives, who are hungry to learn how to use and access their power voice, who are hungry to live a life that will outlive them. Yeah, you forget your years. Your years will forget you, and I want to leave this with you. As you look at your goals, be stubborn about your goals. Be stubborn. Don't give up on your goals. You will fail your way to success. Don't give up on your goal. Make know your vitamin, as Suze DePass would say. Don't give up on your goal. Be stubborn about your goals. Be flexible and versatile. Ask for help. A lot of people won't do that because of ego, edging God out, because a lot of people as a result of pride. Pride comes before a fall. Ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. You don't have to figure it all out. Get started. Do what you can with what you have, and God will do what you can't. One of the things I love that you just said is the whole idea of acceleration. This is a season of acceleration. I would love for each one of you to register right now to find out how you can accelerate your success and your prosperity. A lot of people have shifted themselves into neutral, Mr. Brown, and they're just coasting to the end of the year. But this is the time that you need to put it in high gear and start moving towards your destiny, your purpose, putting as much energy as you possibly can in defining how you want 2023, 2024, 2025, and onward to look. You don't just have to have a most amazing year. You can have an amazing decade. You can have an amazing life, and you cannot do it by keeping your life in neutral. You've got to shift it in gear, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because part of shifting your life into a higher gear is you have to look at your relationships and ask the question, what are my relationships doing to me? Scripture asks the question, what fellowship does light have with darkness? None. Life is like an elevator, as you are aware, and the higher you go up, you have to stop and let some people off. People are not going to finish their year strong and live the life they want to live because they have too many toxic, negative energy, draining family members and friends in their lives. Low value and no value. I got to add that, yes, and so you have to ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? There are people that are always there when they need you, but when you need them, you can't find them. Study indicate you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. When I found that out, I got all the broke people out of my life. I said, you all gotta go. You give yourself a going away party with balloons and a cake that says bon voyage. And they're going to say, oh, you didn't have to do it? No, I didn't do it for you. I'm doing it for myself. And I often say, could things be the way they are because you are the way you are? And what one thing can you change that can change everything? You could change your mind. Nothing about your life has to remain the same. You have full control over your destiny. Your future doesn't come from outside of you. It comes from inside of you. There's a saying, you can never outperform your current concept of self, nor can you rise above the level of your self-worth. I'm glad you brought that up, because in order to finish your year strong, one of the most important things we have to do is to address what you just mentioned. Many of us are blocking and preventing ourselves from moving forward because of things we've experienced, because of things we've gone through. And I want people listening to us right now to write this down. You might be through with your past, but your past is not through with you. Kneel down and have conversations with them, and they won't forget it, because most people talk and don't even acknowledge that they're there. Brown is in the house. The School of Greatness, my friend who has been around for 75 years. Young, you told me just before we got on here you've been fighting cancer for 27 years. You've been widely known as one of the most inspirational motivational speakers in the world, helping Fortune 500 companies to small business owners to everyone in between really tap into their greatness. You are an inspiration to myself and so many people, and you've got a book called You've Got to Be Hungry that is out right now, doing incredibly well, 20 years in the making. I'm curious, we've been talking just before this, which we'll add in the interview, about racial injustice, which you've been a big proponent of speaking out against for many years. From your time working in Ohio in government, your time working in radio, as a speaker, in all these different areas of your life. You've just been through a lot personally. Challenges in your life, from growing up dyslexic with learning disabilities, and challenges in school. I remember the story you shared in our last interview in 2017 about teachers just calling you dumb and things like this. I feel very connected to that story because of my experiences in school, and yet you've overcome so many challenges in your 75 young years. Can you share the biggest challenge you've had to overcome? The biggest challenge I had to overcome, and it's a continuous challenge, is allowing myself to see myself beyond my circumstances and mental conditioning, to live out of my imagination rather than my history. When you're raised in a culture that constantly demeans you, marginalizes you, and stifles your potential to move forward. I remember reading a quote by a guy named Richard Wright who said, "The impulse to dream has been slowly beaten out of me through the experiences of life." Just imagine in 1963, when I graduated from high school. Now that's a long time ago. My grandson said, "Grandpa, how old are you?" And I said, 75. He said, "You are old." In 1963, here's what the statistics were. If you're African American, you're the last hired and the first fired. If you're African American, a white college-trained black person has less of a chance of getting a job than a white high school dropout. That's according to the Federal Reserve. That still exists. So just imagine when an African American graduates from college and is in debt, that a white high school dropout today will earn more, 3 times more than that black college graduate, 3 times more. Why? Because of this paint job. I'll never forget Lewis. I saw an interview with Larry King and a white supremacist. Larry asked, "Tell me, "Why do you hate black people?" He said, "Because they're black." Larry said, "And you're white. What did you have to do with that?" The white supremacist had no answer. He just got quiet. That question, it created an aha moment, hopefully, for that young man. "I saw this video yesterday. A lady said, 'I've got grandchildren. I hate y'all. And I'm teaching my grandchildren to hate you too.' Wow, I'll never forget being on a bus coming back from Miami Beach with my mother. Signs said, 'Jews, dogs, and coloreds not allowed.' I asked my mother, 'Mama, why do they hate us so much?' And she said, 'Leslie, I don't know. But don't you ever be like them. God is love, and he who dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them. You love people regardless of how they treat you.' That grabbed me, because she could have easily, from her experiences, taught me to be hateful, but hatred is taught. People aren't born with it. A little boy asked me, 'What do you mean by you've got to be hungry?' I said, the greatness within to win. When the average person starts out in life, they don't realize the odds are stacked against them. You have got to call on everything in you to get ahead. I asked, 'How old are you?' He said, 7. I said, 'When I was 5 years old, I was downtown Miami. It was 95 degrees. I ran to a water fountain. I was with my mother. The neighbor said, we can watch the other 6, but you'll have to take Leslie with you because he's a little touched in the head.' They didn't want to keep me. I let go of my mother's dress. We'd hold her dress because she walked fast. I ran up to the water fountain and started drinking. My mother said, 'Don't you ever do that again,' and she grabbed me by the neck. I talk about this in the book. She started punching me in the face and head. I was shocked. I said, 'Mama, it's me.' She had a crazy look in her eyes. A white police officer came by with a billy club. He said, 'Okay, you can stop beating that little boy now. I won't have to beat him.' He looked at me crying and laughed as he walked away. My mother grabbed me and said, 'Leslie, I'm so sorry.' But when I saw the redness in his face, the billy club, he was coming to beat you. I had to distract him. If he hit you, he would have had to kill me. I'd have left you and your brothers and sisters to fend for yourselves. You have no relatives.' At that moment, at 5 years old, I knew there were 2 worlds, one where I was limited even in what water fountain I could drink from. When we got on the bus, the front seats were empty, but we had to go past the yellow line to stand in the back. 'Mama, there are seats up here,' she said. 'Did you hear me? Keep moving.' When you are in an environment where you're judged based on nothing but the color of your skin, that's humiliating. Another experience really tilted the scale for me becoming who I am. I love my mother. I'm a mama's boy. I always say, 'This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy.' I was determined to create a world where my mother could live without humiliation, a better life than she had in Stuart, Florida, being African American growing up in Miami. So many things were just part of the culture. It still exists now, but what's heartwarming is the broad-scale support. Benjamin Franklin said, 'Change will never come until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are.' Now you have white people who are unaffected by this, but they're outraged. They're putting themselves in harm's way. I saw one white lady get shot with rubber bullets. She's permanently blind in one eye. The turnout has been strong from people of all backgrounds, out of a sense of humanity, saying, 'This is not America.' It's been sustained because people can see it. To see George Floyd have his life taken, one of the officers near him could have said, 'Come on, man, he's handcuffed. Get your knee off his neck.' But he didn't. One of those men was asked in a grocery store, 'Do you have any regrets?' He said no. He thought it was okay to take a life over a counterfeit $20 bill, and to say you have no regrets, that's heavy, That says a lot. Do you feel like we haven't really progressed that much? No, I think there's been great progress. There's no question about that. You just have people who, under the leadership we have now, feel comfortable coming out. This level of hatred has been instilled, passed on generation to generation. What makes it seem so pervasive now is the exposure. It's never been exposed like this. That's why places like North Korea don't allow media. If it weren't for the internet, we wouldn't know. TV executives after the Rodney King riots said, "When something like this happens again, we won't show it. We'll just report it." But the internet, the phones, now these cops are being recorded. Even then, 9% never go to court. Of those indicted, maybe 2% are found guilty. Judges and prosecutors are on the side of the officer. They can always say, "I felt threatened." I remember a man who served in Vietnam. He was holding a baby. They beat him and said he was fighting with one hand. Another case, the man moved his finger and they said they thought he had a gun. They shot him 5 times, so they come up with flimsy excuses. I thought my life was in danger. Like the man shot 5 times in... Back in Atlanta, they said he might have turned around and used a taser. The truth, that officer was mad because his taser had been taken. There will be no trial. That's how deep it is. The lack of value for human life. How did you personally overcome so much? The title of my book. You've got to be hungry, the greatness within to win. Greatness comes out of adversity. The defining moment. My mother worked for a woman named Miss Harris. I was cleaning spots off the floor. Miss Harris called my mother and said, "Mamie, go in that room and find a hat I wore 3 Sundays ago." My mother went into the room, and I heard a clapping sound. I asked, "Mama, why are you clapping your hands?" She said, "Don't worry, Leslie. Just keep cleaning." She went into another room again. I heard clapping. I asked again. She got aggravated. Miss Harris came over to me and said, "I'll tell you why she's clapping." I stood up and looked her in the eyes. Back then, as a black person, you weren't allowed to look white people in the eyes, arrested or beaten, so I looked her in the eyes, and she said, "The reason that I have your mother clapping her hands when I have colored people working for me, and I can't see them when they go in another room, I make them clap their hands to make sure they're not stealing." Oh my goodness. I said, "Ma'am," I said, "Miss Harris, let me tell you something. My mother does not steal. When she talks about you and your family, she says, 'I work for Miss Harris.' And she talks about your children, and she knows all your children's names and their birthdays. My mother is an honest person. She'll never steal from you or anybody." And she was so shocked. She just looked at me, and she just turned and walked out of the room. And when I got back down on that floor, Louis, and started scrubbing that floor, I said, "Nobody will ever make my mother clap her hands again because they think that she's stealing." I remember going back on the bus and I was quiet, and she said, "Lizzie, why are you so quiet?" I said, "Because I'm not a man. I want to be a man." She said, "You'll be a man soon enough. You're 10 years old." How long before I become a man? 8 years. "I want to become a man now." She said, "Why?" I said, "If I was a man now, Mama, I could buy groceries for us. Listen, Mama, and we won't have to wait till the people you work for eat and then give us leftovers. If I was a man now, I would not have to wait until somebody's worn clothes for a year and we wear their hand-me-down clothes. And if I was a man now, nobody will ever make you clap your hands because they think that you're stealing." She said, "Miss Harris told you that, didn't she?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, that's why I want to be a man now." And she just got quiet. She said, "Leslie, don't worry about it. Just be a good boy, be a good boy." And I said, "I will, Mama. I'm going to take care of you. You never have to work again." When I turned 18, I took care of my mother until she passed at 89. She never paid another bill. I worked. Yeah, that tilted the scales, that experience, that moment, yes, yes, that, to make her, she was such a wonderful person, only had a third-grade education. I always say I'm on programs because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. She was quite a woman. Yes, she was. I'm a mama's boy, as you can detect. Here it is. Stop knocking on. Open door. You have the power. You your voice, you your experiences, you your knowledge, you the things that you have gone through. Some things happen to you and some things happen for you. You're a gold mine. Coming out of this place where we are will be millionaires, billionaires, and witnesses, and those of you that listen to me, you're going to be a millionaire or a billionaire, but you won't be a witness. You won't just be standing around saying, I wonder what happened. No, no, no. Watch as well as pray. I like what Mary McLeod Bethune says. She said, pray as if everything depends upon God, but work as if everything depends upon you. If you're ready to, I mean, just if you believe that there's more in you, if you knew how to get it out, you would have got it out. Come on, let's be real. Why did you hire Mike Williams? Because I'd gone as far as I could go with the thinking and the approach that I had used. That's what I said. The thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve, and most people won't give it up. They won't say, you know what? I don't know everything. The majority of people think they know everything, that everything they know right now is all that they will know. The majority of people buy a book and don't read past the first chapter. Let me tell you something. February 17th, I still read. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I got children, I got grandchildren, and I have 5 great-grandsons, one called King 7. Oh yeah, Valentino. He was born February the 7th, just a couple of days ago. He's a bad little dude. He's coming for you. Oh yes, he smiled at his daddy, Patrick. He's coming for you. He just looked so lovingly at his daddy. I can't wait to hold him. I can't hold him now. I could just look at him on Zoom. This is not right. This is just too much. I can't hold my great-grandson because I don't want to put his life in danger, or his mother's, my granddaughter, or my son. This is different. This is so different. That's why we need to have things for our minds, have strategies for our minds. I'm encouraging you to go online and Google Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome and watch that speech on a regular basis. And Les Brown, it's possible. And Les Brown and Mamie Brown, watch those and listen to those on a regular basis. And getting unstuck, stuff powerful for your mind. And for those of you that want to use the computer to bring your personality out, because you have the opportunity now. It's a level playing field. Everybody's got to do it from here. Everybody. You can order food, I mean. You don't have to leave your house. You can just pick up a phone in Instacart. I think they call that thing. They'll deliver it to your door. You just wait till they leave, and then you get your Lysol to go out and spray and drag it in the house. This is a different place now. Some people don't go. They don't care. They go out. I ain't going nowhere. No, 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 not at all. No, I'm fine right here. Oh boy. If you're ready to be coached, if you are ready to be stretched by me, if you want to be a world-class entrepreneur and business person, this is the new platform. Everybody's got to operate from here. Everybody. You want to invest in yourself. That's what I did. You want to develop your personality so you can get through there. It's not enough just to share information. You put me up against anybody. They can have a PhD, MBA, or CB. CB stands for cornbread. That's me. You give them a computer. Give you what? And let us go head to head. I'll get the butter from the duck. It's a level playing field. This is a golden age right now. incredible opportunity for people who invest in themselves and get the coaching they need to bring out their personality, their passion, their energy, and how to monetize their knowledge and their skills. When a team has a losing season, they don't fire the players. You know what they do. They get a winning coach. They get a coach who wins. That's what they get. You want to be the best. You want to be coached by the best. I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you coaching matters. It matters. And so when you are serious and want a competitive edge and you want to win, I'm looking for people. People who are hungry to win. That's how I got here. I was hungry to win. I didn't care about your PhD or MBA. I was hungry to win, to control my own personal economy, to control my life, to take care of my mother, to buy my mother a home. I was hungry to do something. That's me. That's me. I got tired of being fired. I'm not mentally fit to work for somebody for the rest of my life. There's some people that are. I remember a guy that I hired as my consultant. I'll never forget when I went to the city where I went to see him and spent a whole day with him, and he looked at me with amazement. And his wife said when I left that day, he stopped me at the door, and he said, "Thank you for turning to me as a consultant to train you how to speak and address corporations." He said, "But you know something less." I said, "No, I wouldn't hire you." I said, "Why? I have an MBA." You think? If it were in fact possible to speak to corporations around the world, I got an MBA. You think I would be working on this job where I'm working 65 to 70 hours a week? You think I don't have anything else to do with my time? He said, "I'm just telling you I got a check. I'm just telling you you're wasting your time. They're not going to hire you." I said, "Thank you." He said, "You ought to give this up, man, and try and find a job in another city as a disc jockey." I said, "Man, that's behind me. I'm not looking back. I want to do something different with my life." And Mike Williams is with me, and his wife said the two of them went to the window, looking out the window as I was getting in my car, and she asked him, "Do you think he's going to listen to you and give up this crazy idea of speaking to corporations and speaking around the world, even though he doesn't have an MBA like you, or any college at all, or any corporate experience?" And he said, to his credit, he said, "No." And she was stunned. She said, "Why? I thought you were very convincing. Why? He believes in you and what you say, and he doesn't know enough to know that he can't do it, and so he's going to go forward. He's going for it anyhow. See, sometimes you've got to be intelligently ignorant. You don't know what you can't do. According to the laws of aerodynamics, a bumblebee isn't supposed to fly because its little body cannot be held up by its little puny wings. But the bumblebee doesn't know it. Sometimes you've got to be intelligently ignorant. Lean not unto thine own understanding. There are some things that do not fit within the realm of logic and reasoning and being practical. That's why we're taught to judge not according to appearances. You've got greatness in you. Don't you judge yourself based upon your failures, based upon your past, based upon the stuff you've gone through. No, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. No, you were born to do good stuff. No, you are more than a conqueror, and if life knocks you down, try and land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. If you're ready to get back up and control your own economy, are you ready to get back up and control your own life and be your own boss? Let me show you how to do that. I can hook you up. Oh, he's on fire. Oh, behave. Whatever better must come, as Al Grant said. I want you to say that to yourself. You're going through some stuff right now. I want you to say, better must come, in a voice of defiance. She was under her aunt's bed, and her aunt treated her like dirt. Her mother dropped her off and didn't let her know, "I'm leaving the country," and left her with an aunt that treated her like nothing, and she heard a song called "Better Must Come," and that was the mantra that kept her from losing her mind. Sometimes we need something that we can hold on to, something in spite of our situation, something in spite of the abuse, something in spite of cruelty, something in spite of the hopeless situation that we find ourselves in that we can hang on to and say, you were not born to just go through the motions, to survive on leftovers, to wear someone else's hand-me-down dreams. You've got greatness in you. You've got dreams waiting for you to wake up and fight for them. And if life has knocked you down, I say this, if you can look up, you can get up. Don't you dare settle, don't you dare doubt. Say it with me, better must come, not might come, not hopefully comes. Better must come because I'm not backing down, I'm not giving up, and I'm not leaving this world quietly. This is your time, this is your moment, you were born for this. Now go get what's yours, because someone is waiting for you to rise.